What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Thinktwice, a weekly show where we talk about things going on in the world of Magic the Gathering, gaming, and pop culture. For episode 27, I'm your host, Justin Parnell, joined by my co-host, Aintrazi, and this week we're going to be recapping what happened with the banned and restricted announcement this past week and how it affects Standard, the recent Magic story, Glimpse the Far Side of the Sun, and part 2 of our discussion on the Netflix anthology series, BlackMirror. So, Ollie, this week I want to lead with our question of the week from last week. You and I discussed the Magic story when we returned to the planet Ixalan with the Flood. And we discussed whether we liked the character development for Jace or not. You said you were for it, that you liked the way that Jace's character was being developed. And I said I did not like how Jace was going in the story and how I thought he was going to end up. So, of course, we asked our beautiful, wondrous listeners, and 64% of them agreed with you.
I'm actually surprised.
I actually am too. I did think that you would take this one, but I didn't think it would be this. I didn't think you'd double me up almost.
Yeah, I didn't think. I actually did not think I would take it because I think people are so tired of the Gatewatch, so tired of Jace, that I thought maybe like some random people would just be like, nah, I don't like Jace, whatever. But apparently people are reading the story, and
which is great.
Yeah, and they're answering truthfully because I'm right.
Well, I mean, votes don't lie.
That's
kind of the thing, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like Shakira, but replace votes with hips.
Yes, exactly. My votes don't lie. I'm starting to feel you, Jace.
Exactly, that's perfect. Oh man, that's actually good. I like that.
So outside of that,
there we go. Done. That's our name of the podcast.
I think the name of the song is just Hips Don't Lie, so it'd have to just be Votes Don't Lie, which is very similar. This is a perfect segue, because it's very similar to one of my favorite basketball phrases, which is Ball Don't Lie. Do you know what Ball Don't Lie means? No, of course not. So, in basketball, Ball Don't Lie is a phrase that Rasheed Wallace, who's a player I absolutely cannot stand, but he had to come up with the best basketball phrase. But when someone gets fouled and goes to the line to shoot free throws, but they didn't really get fouled, and they miss those free throws, it's because Ball Don't Lie, because you weren't supposed to get those points anyway. So.
Oh yeah.
So, and since we're talking about Hips Don't Lie and Votes Don't Lie, Ball Don't Lie, I went to a basketball game this past weekend with my dad, and it was great. What
was it great?
It was. Well, I mean, the game itself was fine. My team, the Duke Blue Devils, crushed my dad's team, which is the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. But they're not very good, and Duke is really good, so it's more about the experience. I get to go to Cameron Indoor, which is the place that Duke plays their home games about once a year, and it's always a lot of fun. And then after that, on Sunday, I did Two-Headed Giant pre-release with old Stephen Green, and we got crushed. We got slaughtered. And we thought our decks were good, and I still think they were good. We had a blue-green Merfolk deck, including like a Kumena and the one that says like whenever a Merfolk you control deals damage to your player, draw a card. Like two of the ones that like tutor up Merfolk, just like everything. And Steven was playing like a blue-black pirate stack with the Elder Dinosaur. Oh my gosh, I can't remember the name. Tetsamok. Yeah, which is the most busted card in Limited in a long time. And we just like went 0-2 and we got crushed both times. And like
question:
like,
Do you think
under 15 minutes?
Tetsamok is? Do you think Tetsamok is more annoying or more powerful than the Sun?
Then Approach the Second Sun?
No, the Immortal Sun.
Yes. I do.
And Sealed. Okay.
You have to be playing black, but it's like you can't really stop it except for one way. There's a card called Dark Inquiry, which is just Thoughtseize for 3, except you don't lose 2 life. So we revealed it and put a bunch of prey counters on stuff because we're gonna cast it the next turn, and they just they Dark Inquiry and just snuck it out of his hand.
Why is that in their deck,
dude? It just was.
Yeah, they got you.
Got us real good.
That's why it was in their deck. It was in their deck so they could take away the black dinosaur.
Yeah, the person who played it, their deck was much better because they also had one of those, and they also had 2 Vonus Hungers, which is insane, and 2-headed giant.
Oh, sure.
Because each opponent had a Twilight Prophet, Vraska's Contempt, the 2/1 pirate that makes 2/2 pirates with menace. So it was this guy was just playing mono black, and this deck was super gross. And he had a Field of Ruin in his deck, and we actually had a flip card that we were playing and had it out. So had we flipped it, he would have just been able to kill that too, and ramp his partner.
Oh man, yeah. Anytime I see somebody playing a monocolor deck in a limited format, you're just like, all right, that's it. Wrap it up, boys.
This is time to roll up my sleeves. This is gonna be a tough one. So we got crushed. That was our week. That was my weekend.
I got crushed too.
Okay.
I played in the 5K for Hex. I knew going in, mono black control was the best deck.
Well, of course.
But for some reason, I decided to play something else.
If you would have just watched my pre-release, I could have told you that mono black was the best.
I know, I should have. I essentially went 0-2 into 1-2 into 1-3 drop, and I was like, whatever, I'm done.
Yeah, that's just chalk that weekend up.
Yeah, yep. So that was a little disappointing. I spent 2 months qualifying for this thing, and I knew what the best deck was, didn't play it, and it put 3 players or so into the top 8 mono black.
That's good. That's a good conversion for one deck with 8 slots.
Yeah. Could have been one of those people.
Yeah. Man, well, you could be. Could have been a contender, but you chose not mono black.
I do that a lot. I'm like, this is the best deck.
You want to be. You want to do the counterculture thing. You're like, all right, I figured out what the best deck was. Now, how do I beat it?
Yeah, this was worse though. This deck didn't even actually beat it. I wasn't gonna play it, but I don't know. Someone convinced me to, and I should have not played it. I was gonna play Blue Eye Control, which is pretty good. Mm-hmm. That put 2 people in the top 8. So but he was like,
so 5 of the slots were mono black or a deck that was good against mono black.
Or just a good deck.
Okay.
Yeah, and at team I was like, no, you should play this deck that you streamed with. I was like, I think it was fun. I don't think it was that good. It's like, no, I think it was really good. I'm like, all right, I'll try it. And got demolished. Well, at least that's out of the way. I will never play that again.
Get it out of your system.
Yeah, I wish I tested it in a 1K, so a 5K. So
yeah, well,
live and learn.
So you sometimes you just gotta get that out of your system. You have an itch to play a deck, and you're like, this deck isn't that good, but it's but I've had okay results with it, so I'm not 100% sure that it's bad. And then you go into a tournament and you play 3 tier 1 decks, and you're like, no, it was bad.
Yeah. that itch has been scratched.
Okay. Good. Well, there's a lot of itching that you could do in Standard right now for Magic, not for Hex.
Yes.
So we are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to discuss the banned and restricted announcement that happened this week.
Okay, so we had a banned and restricted announcement.
I've heard of it.
Did you?
Yes.
Did you hear of it?
I did.
Okay, so I don't think everyone saw all the bans coming or what exactly was getting banned. We thought Energy was getting his somewhere, but on a scale of 1 to 10, how surprised were you that the red cards got banned?
Okay, so just the red cards.
The red cards, but hold on a second. Let me define the scale for you, okay?
Please, I need some clarification.
All right, let me clarify you. All right, so 1 This is like you're eating ice cream in your favorite ice cream restaurant or froyo, whatever it is, whatever you like with ice cream. Okay,
I got that. Well, that's not very surprising because I love ice cream.
We're not done yet.
Okay.
And then on your way home or on your way to your car, a bird poops on your head. Now, keep in mind, a bird pooping on your head is good luck.
Okay, well, that's new. Maybe that's
how is new?
Maybe that's
You never heard of bird pooping on your head or your car or your clothes is good luck?
No, you just got
okay.
bird
Well, it is.
poop on you.
Just trust me, it is.
Okay, so that's one. So that's a one. Okay, well, if that's a 1, then what is a 10?
Okay, a 10. You wake up one day.
Okay.
And you realize you're a Pokemon master that's also a planeswalker. But
so I'm Watley.
Okay, there you go. Yes, exactly.
So Watley.
But you can also shoot rainbows out of your eyes, and when they hit people, those people can poop rainbow poop on command.
Wait. Okay, so they. Let me. I'm just to get some clarification. Okay, so I wake up.
Sure. Good.
I wake up and I'm Watley. I'm a planeswalker, and I'm also a Pokemon master. So basically, I can control dinosaurs. That's kind of the same thing. And then I can shoot rainbows out of my eyes.
Correct.
So I like Superman with laser vision, but I have rainbow vision. Now, what does this rainbow vision do?
Whenever you rainbow vision a human being, it allows them to rainbow poop on command.
So that is its only purpose.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean,
so now rainbow poop.
Can I get more clear than what I'm saying?
No, it's pretty clear.
Okay, just making sure.
So rainbow poop traditionally is what unicorns poop, as everyone knows.
Correct.
So does it infuse them with unicorn DNA?
Kind of.
Whose command is it? Is it on my command or their command?
On their command. So you basically
does this replace their regular poop, or is it additional poop that they're storing in their body?
Nope. They can rainbow poop on command. I don't understand what's confusing about this.
Okay.
You wake up. You're a planeswalker master.
I think I got it. Okay.
Right,
now I some slightly more clarification. Slightly more. That's the 1 and the 10. So what is the 5?
A 5. Okay. A 5 is like I imagine a ninja. A ninja frog. Let's go.
Okay.
A ninja
so
frog.
We've melded the frog and the ninja unstable cards together.
Yes. Jumps out of nowhere, is flying through the air, and judo kicks you in the face. But afterwards, he asks you, "Hey, bro, do you want to learn the froggy way?"
I don't like that he called me bro. He doesn't know me that well, but he did just kick me in the face, so I don't appreciate that.
Judo kick.
Okay. Well, that's very clarifying. I'm going to go with... So how surprising... I forgot the original question. How surprising was I that the red cards got banned? I'm going to go on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm going to go with an 8. So what is an 8? What would an 8 be? And I'll give you my reasoning afterwards.
Okay, and all right. An 8 is like a flying ant. It's flying around your head and it's singing.
There's flying ants.
It's singing though.
It's singing.
It's singing. It's raining men.
Okay, so it wasn't. See, now when you first said that, I was like, "Well, this sounds like about a 5 or a 4."
Yeah,
but then when you said it was singing, it's raining men. No, that's an 8 for sure.
That's it. Exactly. That's perfect, right?
Yeah.
That's good. All right, so
I'm gonna go with an 8. Right. And it's the reason that it's obviously, I don't think anyone could say with a straight face that their answer is less than 5. Because as you and I discussed last week, we thought that both of us agreed immediately. We were like, 10 with 8, the Rogue Refiner, those are both gone. We agreed on those. Yeah. They were just those were the easiest things to knock off, and that came to fruition. If you think about it a little bit beyond that, to actually identify what standards are going to look like after a portion of the energy deck gets banned, it would seem to most people, myself included, that Ramen Bread would probably take up the mantle as the de facto best deck in Standard.
Right.
And because of that, Wizards identified that too, and they were like, well, Ramen Ruins has to go. And ultimately, there's a lot of really powerful cards in that deck. Whether you play the small version whether you're playing like the really aggressive version or whether you're playing the big version, Rumming Up Ruins, the actual card, is ultimately the most powerful card in the deck and is the card that kind of makes that deck expand its reach past just burn spells. So, yeah.
I don't know if it's the most powerful card in the deck, but
I don't think, maybe not the most powerful because I think Chandra is like the most powerful on its own.
no, I think here's what happened. Okay, here's what happened. I think they were like, you know what, guys? We've banned a ton of cards in Standard. We know if we ban some cards out of Team Rare Energy, Ramen Up Red is going to be the best deck. We have data.
Yeah.
So, what can we ban that's not the best card in the deck? Because if we ban Hazoret, which is the best card in the deck, if we ban Hazoret, people are going to get upset. Because we've banned Smuggler's Copter, we've banned Emrakul, we've banned some Mythic rares, we've banned some rares. Yeah. What can we ban that is good enough to hinder the deck, but
not destroy it?
Hurt wallets. Yeah, not hurt wallets.
Yeah.
So then we have Ramen Up Ruins. Plus, on that note, going out Ramen Up Ruins is also, the best part about that is, the deck will be called Mono Red now.
Yeah, you don't have to call it Ramen Up Red. No Ramen Up cards anymore. Okay, so that wasn't ultimately that surprising. I think like their explanation was like, yeah, no, that makes total sense.
It was sound.
Yeah, I was like, I buy it, and I was like, okay, you put some thought behind this. Then, Rampaging Ferocidon. That one completely caught me off surprise. So, if I combine my surprise level between Ramen Up Ruins, which was probably about a 5 or a 6, and Rampaging Ferocidon, which was about a 10, that's where I land on my 8.
Poor Rampaging Ferocidon did not rampage that much.
No, it didn't. That's kind of the thing. That's a really good card. In fact, I even when we did our Ixalan review, I was like, I think this is one of the best cards in the set, and it just saw play in the one deck, like just Ramen Up Red.
I wonder if this is the quickest time, maybe the quickest time something got banned in Standard after seeing print.
Well, you know what has actually there's 2 other cards.
Okay.
Maybe 2 other cards maybe for sure. 3. Memory Jar. When Urza's Legacy came out, then. Yeah. You were alive, you just weren't playing.
I wasn't playing, yeah.
And Smuggler's Copter also has that distinction.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Copter got banned faster than Rampaging Ferocidon?
Well, it's the exact same amount of time.
Okay, what about Skull Clamp?
Skull Clamp lasted a little bit longer.
Okay.
But I think that when did Felidar Guardian get banned? Sorry, there's just so many. It's difficult to keep track of.
And you know what? It doesn't matter. You know what?
It's on the front. It's on the front end of this card was not legal for very long, and then got banned.
Yes, and they said they printed Rampaging Ferocidon to deal with the Felidar Guardian combo originally, but the anti-life
I don't even want to
part.
go into that. I just it's so like that is literally that's literally like you cut your arm, and instead of it's like, okay, so someone cuts their arm and you have 2 friends, right? One friend is like, let me get you a Band-Aid for that. The guy comes back with the Band-Aid. That's the band to Felidar Guardian. And then the other guy walks back in the room and he's with the machete and he's like, oh, we're not just going to take the arm off? That's what that's like.
That's awful because
you literally you made a card for a card you absolutely needed to ban. Like, I don't like the fact that I almost wish they hadn't said that, because it's like you garnered back some faith with your Ramen Up Ruin statement of why you're going to ban that, but then it's
you did.
If you couldn't see that you can't have Splinter Twin combo in Modern, there's no way you can have Saheeli Felidar Guardian in Standard, so that had to go. And in your design of Ixalan, if you didn't identify this was going to have to go, so you made a card to fight that for something that shouldn't be around by the time this card comes out, dude, you guys are messing up. Just don't tell us that. Just shut up. Just shut up, Wizards. Just don't say that. Just say this card could be oppressive. I'm sorry. This card could be oppressive in the future. I'll let you talk now.
Okay. I just think it's weird that, like, is it? You know what? Maybe that's why they banned Reflector Mage.
Yeah, that is why they banned Reflector Mage.
Because they're putting Rampaging Ferocity and they didn't want they didn't want the 4-color energy deck to bounce Rampaging Ferocity before they combo. It's like, you know what? We're gonna ban Reflector Mage.
Reflector Mage and Rampaging Ferocity were never able to be legal in the same time.
Right, I'm saying maybe that's why they banned Reflector Mage. That makes sense, right? That's one thing that makes sense. So that's why they banned Reflector Mage. I'm going with that.
Sure, we'll work with that.
Right. But then they still have Harness Lightning.
Yeah.
To kill a 3-drop. Like, Trespasser's Curse was better answer to Feldon Guardian combo than Rampaging Frostbound was.
Yeah, because they can't get rid of it. It's just there forever.
Yeah, and it drains. Anyways.
Moving on.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, so now that we have this new, I'm putting quotes around that, new standard, what deck are you going to play if you were playing in a tournament this weekend? If you were, what deck would you play?
If I was playing a tournament this weekend, I would play something with Our Promise, with not Our Promise, just minus ramp. I'm talking about like a Our Promise, Masterminds, Acquisition type deck.
Mm-hmm.
Think back like Black Green, Nissa's Renewal / Dark Petition deck.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
So it's like that. It's basically just a ramp deck with Masterminds Acquisition. It would not be 2 colors. It would probably be like 3 or 4 colors. Just splashing for other cards if you want to wish for them with the Masterminds Acquisition. Or, on the other hand, I could also be tempted to play Esper Approach.
Okay. So
I think Approach.
Well, it's a lot easier to gain 7 life now.
It is a lot easier to gain 7 life. And Approach usually did not play Torrential Gearhulk because like you can't really flashback Fumigate, and it's kind of awkward to flashback to the Wreckage. And some of them playing like Hieroglyphic Illumination, and getting back Opt isn't really what you want to be doing. But I do think the deck did gain something. I think gaining Azor, the Lawbringer, is actually pretty good for that deck. So yeah, I'd probably be playing Esper Approach.
Okay.
Or the 5-color Ollie Brew.
With the Our Promise. Yeah, that seems up your alley.
Yep.
That seems up your alley.
Yeah. So, okay. Did the ban and restricted article make you think the February 12th banning was for Modern?
Yeah, so they said at the end of the article that there was going to be another ban restricted update on February 12th, which is right after the Pro Tour. And they talked about, I think this is the statement they had. So finally, we have another ban restricted announcement next month on February 12th. The timing of this announcement makes it ideal to consider changes based on the results of Pro Tour Rivals of Ixalan, which is Modern format, and thus will more likely focus on Modern. That says to me, like, as I'm reading that says we're going to ban something in Modern after the Pro Tour.
Or unban.
Or unban. Yeah, that could be true.
Well, see, like, I'm the optimist, so my initial gut reaction, or my mind went to unban.
Yeah, I think maybe you're right. I think it's probably, I would lean towards the unban, because I don't think that you, like, Modern's fine. I don't think you need to ban anything in Modern. Like, I don't. No. Like, there's no deck that's like dominating. So I don't know why you would ban stuff in Modern. So I think you're probably right. I think it is probably leaning towards the unbanning. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's exciting to me. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited to watch. Actually, I'm nervous to watch the Pro Tour because I'm hoping they don't wreck it. Hoping the Pro Tour does not wreck Modern, because Modern is in a good spot right now. I
actually don't think that. I don't think that it will. I think there's a lot of decks that can win tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that remains to be the case.
Yeah. I'm glad you've changed your tune on Modern. Like 6 months ago, you were poo-pooing Modern pretty hard, and now you're just mediocring Modern, which is
when they slay your favorite format. Standard, you start thinking about, Frontier, you start thinking about Pauper, start thinking about Modern. You see, this is where that happens. Think about it. When you can't play Standard, people make a new format called Frontier.
Yeah.
When you can't play Standard, people start looking at other formats. Hey, let's play Pauper. You know why? Because your best format, your most fun,
your bread and butter format,
is poo-pooed.
Yeah, you're right. They poo-pooed it. That's not
why.
on you. I don't want to say that that's on you. But I'm glad that I'm glad you've turned it around on Modern. I'm glad that this is something that you are actually actively thinking about and taking an interest in playing. Because it's a good format.
Actually, well, to be fair, it's shifted a lot too. Like, Jessica Control is actually a pretty good deck, which is like that's huge. Back when I was playing, if you thought about playing Jessica Control, it was awful. Like, you're playing in a Hiri deck with Emrakul, and it was like, this is a control, man. I want to play control.
Yeah, like real control. Like, I don't want to cast anything on my turn. Control.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So.
Okay. So, before we get to the question of the week, I have one final question to ask you. Finish this sentence.
Okay.
The more things change, the more
they stay the same.
Now, what does that mean to you as it relates to Standard right now? What does that statement mean?
To Standard?
Yeah.
Usually, well, for Standard, that usually means if you, like, let's say the more you ban, the more things stay the same because there will still be a powerhouse deck. Like, for example, like, when usually, like, imagine this time if they just banned Teamer.
Yep.
And didn't touch red, then you still have the same problem. Like, you still have one deck that's super overrepresented and over like powered.
Totally agree. And it seems like that's been the case. We've been in this loop for 2 years. In Standard.
Honestly, I think we had this dilemma. I believe it's a little different. I think it's like you said last time. The Deathrise Shaman versus Brainstorm debate, where Brainstorm is obviously the culprit, but you know what? People love Brainstorm, so let's bring the Deathrise Shaman. I think the problem here, man, is still energy. Like, when we banned 4 colors to Healy, it was an energy deck. When we banned Aethworks Marvel, it was a Teamer energy deck. When we banned Attuned Aether and Refiner, it was an energy deck. Like, guys, like, if it's gonna be bad,
can't you see the problem? It keeps recurring.
Yeah. It's energy. Like, you ban 3 cards out of energy, and let's hope this isn't. Maybe this is enough. That leads us to our next.
It does. Section. Our question of the week. We need some question of the week music. Like they need to.
Question of the week. We're always right, and Justin Parnell is wrong.
Okay. Well, that probably won't hold up. All right, that's fine. If you want to do that every single week, that can be our question of the week music.
We'll see.
Do it exactly like that.
Depends how I'm feeling.
Okay, so question of the week. Aintrazi, were the bannings in Standard enough to create format diversity? Yes or no?
I'm gonna go with yes.
Explain yourself.
I think banning Attuned Aether in Rogue Refiner is enough to not let Teamer Energy run away with the game. Essentially, you can't go like Attuned Aether into Longtusk Cub, into Rogue Refiner, attack my Cub, and have you snowball out of the game. Now, Teamer Energy is more of a actual mid-range deck. They have to play more lands. They can't just go with the 21 lands plus 4 Attuned Aether. And their snowball potential of Longtusk Cub just clearly out of nowhere is out, so they're more mid-rangey. I think this in of itself takes away some of its power of being so like able to attack from a million different angles. Mm-hmm. They're more mid-range now. And I think the bannings on Ramen Up Red, Ramen Up Ruins, like you said, was kind of annoying for control decks because it gave them so much reach and longevity. Where you could wipe board or whatever, and then you'd be like, okay, well, EOT, I'll sacrifice my Sunscorched Desert, deal you 2, untap, go, sacrifice this desert, deal you 2, shock you, untap, lightning strike you, you're dead. So I think that was actually a step in the right direction for format diversity.
Okay. I'm gonna go with no.
Okay.
I think something that
explain yourself.
What now?
Explain yourself.
So something we talked about last week is what's the nightmare scenario for Wizards at this point, right? They They make them these bannings. Obviously, we knew they were going to target energy. They hit red too, which I think overall I think was smart. But man, when you sit down round 1 and your opponent just goes turn 2 Long Tusk Cub, turn 3 Whirler Virtuoso, turn 4 Bristling Hydra, and you're like, and you're thinking in the back of your mind, you're like, didn't they ban Attune with Ether and Rogue Refiner? And your opponent, reading your mind, is going to say, yeah, they did. Now I'm going to kill you. Because I still have all of these broken cards, and it's still going to feel the same, even if they don't have those 2 cards. You and I discussed Jade Light Ranger when we went over all of our Rivals cards, and I think that's just going to be a card that's going to slot into that deck. Now, I don't want to get into a huge discussion on that, but point being, you're still going to be playing against Teamer Energy. Like, you're still going to see Teamer Energy take down tournaments. Like, yeah, is it the de facto best deck anymore? Maybe not, but the fact that you can't say that it's not definitively is a problem. Like, if we see Teamer Energy, like, if Dallas, the SCG Dallas event is a team event coming up this week. If you see Teamer Energy being the deck that the standard player is playing on the winning team, isn't that like the worst case scenario, but something that's also incredibly realistic?
Yeah, yeah, it is.
And like, if in that sense, these bans, while they did hurt the deck, they didn't do enough to knock it off of its perch, and then they have no recourse. And that's the dangerous thing. I think you did take out some problem cards in the red deck, but I think that it's still really powerful, and it's going to be difficult for other decks to combat that deck on all levels. Even though it loses the reach of Raminop Ruins, you still got Chandra, Hazoret, Glorybringer. You still have burn spells. It's like the deck isn't going anywhere. It's just it's changed slightly.
I see what you're saying, but so those are our stances.
Yeah,
those are our statements.
Yep. And just a last thing, I do think that it's going to create the perception of format diversity for a little while. I don't think it's going to last. I'm
just scared of. I'm honestly not scared. Not even scared of Teamer Energy being the dominant deck. But I am scared of a different energy deck being the dominant deck. I think Grixis Energy did not lose much.
Yeah.
And like the fact that Grixis Energy did not play Attuned Ether or Rogue Refiner, and it was still like you got an energy deck. That's a little scary to me.
Yeah.
Glint Sleeve Siphoner is still a good Magic card. Scarab God is still a good Magic card. So we'll see.
Whirler Virtuoso is still a good Magic card.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Well, as we said, the more things change,
the more they stay the same.
That's right. Any other thoughts on standard or ban restrictions, Ollie?
Nah, I'm good.
Okay, all right.
I'm ready for some story time.
All right, me too. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we return, Magic Story Glimpse, the Far Side of the Sun. Glimpse the Far Side of the Sun. So
approach the second sun or the immortal sun?
Any sun you want.
Okay.
There's so many suns in Magic. It's all suns. There's 5 suns in Mirrodin. There's multiple suns in Amonkhet. There's at least 1 sun in Ixalan. So
yeah, I'm picking the green sun in Mirrodin. That's my sun.
I'm gonna take the first sun in Amonkhet.
Okay.
Primary sun.
Right.
Gets no respect, really. It's all about the second sun in Amonkhet. I don't appreciate it, frankly.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Firstborn is the bestborn, right?
Yeah, and the first sun, it's been there. It's been holding the Amonkhet people strong, and it doesn't get appreciated. Anyway, Ollie, give us a brief recap of this week's Magic Story, Glimpse the Far Side of the Sun.
All right, so we are running. Still, Angrath and Huatli are still running through the woods. There's running to get the Mortal Sun. They run into the vampire lady, Alondel, the first
Elandra?
vampire, Alondra, Glenalondra.
Yeah, it's like Glenalandra, which is interesting, but that's another topic for another day.
So they see her, and they keep going. Jace and Vraska are running. They finally get to the gateway, which is Azor's gateway. And Vraska's like, "Yo, this is a locked thing. It's locked. It's like it's a maze. I can't open it." Jace's like, "I got this," and he unlocks it. Before he unlocks it, he senses there's a sphinx on the other side. And
he senses the sphinx, and then his sphincter tightens.
Exactly. He starts putting up shields, and he opens the door, and there's Azor, the Lawbringer.
So,
and he's like, "What up, Azor?" Azor's like, "Who are you?" Jace's like, "I'm a living guild pact,
and a
dun dun dun,
and a pirate,
and a pirate, dun dun dun, and she's the captain, dun dun dun." dun.
Okay, so let's talk about Angrath. Is Angrath the only person somehow on this entire plane who's not self-absorbed on accident? Like,
maybe
Polly definitely is. Not.
Oh yes, she's blind.
Yeah, completely blind, and just is.
Yeah.
Just doesn't have is largely clueless.
She's naive. She's a child.
Yes.
In all sense of the word, except
yeah. I think in all senses, yeah.
Yeah.
Jace is maybe not on purpose, but he's like he can't really help but be self-absorbed because like he's trying to kind of piece his own brain back together.
Yep.
Vraska, while not self-absorbed, is almost totally focused on Jace and virtually nothing else. And she wants to make sure. And while just for a good reason, I don't think she's focused on the task at hand.
No, she's all about like making sure he's okay and protecting him.
Yep. And of course, Vona and Kumena are obviously they're literally just completely just are not able to see the bigger picture either. They're only want what they think is going to make them all powerful.
Yeah, I mean Vona's hungry and Kumena's flying out a window. Yeah.
So Angrath, who is a super interesting character, he's a great black-red character. I really like how we've talked about red before and how they've painted red characters in Magic Story, and we're finally seeing another character that's also black in addition to red. I just think that he's being written really well.
Yeah, he is. He's he has like the. It's kind of weird though. Like I can't tell if he feels for Wally or not. Like he thinks she's like kind of naive and like stupid and blind and doesn't know what she's doing. And then like, oh man, maybe he cares for her a little bit. Then he's like, he just calls her a fool. He like whips his chain at her face. Yeah. He's just like, you're an idiot. Like, what are you doing? Calls her an idiot multiple times.
Yeah, and he's the definition of ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how he feels 24/7. Like,
oh yes, oh my god, he's been on this plane for like 14, 13 years, whatever it is.
14 years. He's tired. Yeah. He's tired of being here.
Done.
He wants to leave. Done. He's like, look, I will help you. You're a planeswalker. You're more powerful than you know. So look, just follow my lead. Stop asking stupid questions. Stop wasting my time talking to old vampires. It doesn't matter. She doesn't matter. She doesn't matter. Let's get this immortal. Let's figure out a way to get off of this plane. And Wally's like,
oh yeah.
But my goal is to return to my people and speak the warrior poet language. And he's like, shut up. Just shut up. Just shut up.
Yes. Yeah, I thought it was great because, like, I'm not going to lie. Like, when I read the part where, like, Holly got so mad and she's like, she tensed up and she's like, all right, I'm going to sing you a poem about the vampires. And I'm just like I'm not going to lie. I cringed a little bit. Like, man. I don't know. It's so cringy for me. And I'm so glad Angrath felt the same thing.
Yeah,
she did her poem thing, and they're talking. He doesn't even he looks at her. He doesn't even say anything. He just launches his whip at her face. Like, what are you doing? Like,
stop it!
Stop!
Let's move it.
Exactly.
Let's move it on.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Oh
but
my God.
he's the only one that is like, look, are you? Is no one else realize what's going on? Is no one else self-aware on this whole island, this whole planet, this whole plane? And it's just really refreshing because it's Magic has so few characters like that. He's like, I'm really.
He's kind of like the Deadpool, not fully Deadpool, but like he like knows more than like what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, Deadpool's like he interacts with his surroundings in a way.
Yeah.
Where he recognizes that like he's in a comic or a movie or whatever. But
right.
Angrath is he is very aware of people and how they're interacting with their surroundings and how they interact with him, which is nice. He's like, so in both a personality perspective and a color pie perspective, he is like the complete opposite of Gideon. So I'm really excited at some point to see Gideon and Angrath face off.
Oh my God.
Because they're like, because Angrath's going to hate Gideon. He's going to hate him so much. Yeah. Because Gideon is the king of all of this other stuff of like, oh, everything, I got to make everything serious and everything has got to, we got to have this plan and let me be in charge. And he's just like, shut up. This is what we're doing.
Yeah, Angrath is crude, but he's like kind of like a realist in a way.
He is totally a realist.
At least Huatley, like I'm not gonna lie, Huatley's my least favorite planeswalker on this plane.
Oh, me too, by a lot.
Yeah, but
and and you all know how I care for how I feel about Jace, but
yeah, Huatley I think is just the worst planeswalker. Anyways, at least she sees. Like she's being destroyed verbally by Angrath, but at least she
recognizes her ignorance at points.
Yes, yes. He's like, okay, maybe he's right. Like maybe he's talking some sense. Like he's being rude and crude, but like maybe he's actually he knows what he's talking about. Like he's not just being a a butthole.
Yeah. Do you think we're gonna see an Alondra Vona reunion?
Oh God, please. Yeah. So that when they see Alondra's like, finally Orkaza
has been awoken.
Yeah, and apparently she gave a gift to the church or taught them how to be vampires so they can be humble and like be like good people. And they're not. They're trying to conquer. They're conquistadors. Like
Alondra is not going to be happy with Vona. They are.
She is not.
It's great because Vona is the two most evil parts of Black and White. From a color pie perspective, and Alondra is the two best parts.
Oh man, it's great, and it's great. They're extremes on the same spectrum,
exactly,
opposite sides,
and it's so great. Yeah, like they push they're pushed as far apart as they possibly could be from like a philosophy standpoint, and yet they still take up the same same space, which is great. So I can't wait for their interactions because Alondra's not going to be happy.
Oh no, they're both vampires, but Vona is on the spectrum of like, I'm a vampire, I'm gonna suck blood, I'm gonna kill people, like, I'm a vampire. And Alondra's
fully embraces the vampire.
Yes.
Vampireness, yeah.
And Alondra's like on the complete opposite side. She's like, we are the elders, like we are been here forever. We should take care of the world and the people that are born here. We should not kill them. Like we are immortal. Like we should better ourselves.
Yeah. So Alondra is the, like the white, like the sense of community, and acting for what is right, which is obviously like a positive part of white, and for Black, wanting ambition for the sake of obviously her goal, which is to basically make sure that her people are taken care of. And while it's not like necessarily and by any means necessary approach, she obviously has done a lot of work to ensure that that's the case. And Vona is just her Black part is just pure selfishness, only concerning with what she feels in the exact moment. And White is using rules and her position in the church to make herself greater than everyone else.
Yeah, absolutely.
So really interesting. Obviously, it's like
Also,
it's really cool. This is like these little moments are some of my favorite part of Magic story because we've seen both of these characters, and you can like when you can identify like their place in the color plot pie, even though they're the same, is really awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think they better encounter. Like, I want them. I want to see that fight or that encounter. But anyways, moving on. So we knew that Jace planeswalked to Ixalan when Bolas was destroying his mind.
Yes.
When Bolas was wiping his not wiping his mind, it was like brain death. He was literally killing Jace.
Or trying to.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Jace instinctively, because he was trying to kill Jace because Jace got enough information about Bolas to find out what his plan was. His ultimate plan.
Well, he didn't know that he did.
He didn't know that, yes, because he was dying. His mind is being wiped or destroyed.
But we find out in the course of this story, as Jace's memories are coming back, that he actually did see something in Bolas's plan.
Yes. We thought he planeswalked to Ixalan on accident, just randomly picked a plane and planeswalked, which didn't really make sense to us.
No, at all. And that's something we were so caught up on. We're like, how is this a coincidence? This doesn't make any sense to be a coincidence. It also doesn't make any sense for Bolas to send him there. Like, it's just, we couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, you thought like you planeswalked somewhere safe, maybe like Ravnica or your home or somewhere, or maybe even Vryn, somewhere you know.
Yeah.
But you planeswalked Ixalan, and the reason that is because Ugin subconsciously placed a ward on Jace's mind that if someone tried to telepathically read Jace's mind and try to discover who Ugin was in Jace's mind, that his brain would automatically make him planeswalk to Ixalan specifically.
It was like basically a trigger. If it's not that if anyone was trying to find out about Ugin, because you don't know what you're looking for, but as other mind mages are poking around in your brain, if they get close, it was like a trigger to stop and then have him planeswalk away.
Yes. And have to imagine this has to be like the only person probably powerful enough to attack Jace and read his mind, other than Ugin, apparently.
Bolas.
Had to be Bolas.
Yeah. So this is I'm going to read a little passage from the story on this part. You were talking about Jace seeing or remembering Bolas's plan. This is what the story says about it. And this is in like a parenthesis. This is in Jace's mind as he's thinking, and these are just like really quick thoughts that are coming to him. Since what the dragon's plan was, stop him from doing harm, and for a brief moment, he had done it. He saw the goal, the end game, stop. And then he just stops, his mind goes blank, and he forgets.
Yeah.
So Jace, in Jace's mind somewhere, he knows Bolas's plan.
Yes.
Like, in full, the plan. He knows what he's trying to do next and what he's ultimately trying to do at the very end. Now, we don't know that as the reader. Jace doesn't even know that. Only Bolas still knows that, as far as we know.
Yes. And I also had a question for a long time. I was like, well, since time was rewritten on Dragons of Drakir, so does that mean that Bolas knows what happens to Sarkhan? And does Bolas ultimately know that Ugin is still alive? This leads me to believe no.
I think
Bolas has no idea.
I think this is definitively no.
Yeah, that Bolas has no idea Ugin is still alive. Which is huge.
Yes.
Which is huge.
So I have a lot of thoughts on this part. One,
before we jump into quick, I also want to say that Jace, by regaining his memory, he's regaining his powers. And actually, he is stronger now than he was as an adult because the memories he gained when he was a teenager from Vryn, when he was tutoring or training with the Sphinx Alhamrit.
Yeah.
He was a much powerful. He was a stronger mind mage when he was a teenager than he was when he was an adult, and now he has, quote unquote, his whole mind. So he's like super powerful.
So basically, he had learned all of these things about basically being able to use his mind powers, but through the years, his mind has been wiped like multiple times. We found out.
Yes. Yep.
So he forgets in between, but now that he is remembering everything, he's remembering everything. So everything in between all of those mind wipes are coming back, which includes things he didn't know that he knew.
Just crazy.
Which is crazy. So this is positioning Jace to be the de facto most important character in the multiverse.
Yes, because he knows both of the plan.
He's gonna be powerful enough to go toe to toe with him.
I hope not. I really hope not.
Yeah.
If that happens, I will be upset. If Jace, even with his memory, because Bolas destroyed him before.
Ollie,
I don't care how strong. What?
You heard it here first, buddy.
You think Jace can go toe to toe with Bolas?
I think that's what they're going to want to do. Yes.
I hope not. If that's the case, I am going to be very, very upset.
Man, they are setting the seeds in this story because they're like, I'm becoming even stronger, and I'm knowing his plan. He's going to go toe to toe. He's going to be the one. I'm predicting that Jace is going to be the one to beat Bolas in the end, which is going to annoy the crap out of me.
No, if that happens, I don't know. Like I don't know. I don't even know. Like I can't even talk or think about it because Bolas destroyed the Gatewatch. It was effortless. Effortless. Yeah. And if Jace now goes toe to toe with Bolas, no. It better be Jace, Ugin, and 20 more Planeswalkers. If they're going to take out Bolas. Okay. No, Bolas is the man.
Okay.
I don't want no one. I don't want no 1v1.
Okay.
All right.
There's no way.
I don't believe it.
Sure.
No way.
But you know what? The way you're talking about it, you know in the back of your mind, just like in the back of Jace's mind when he saw Bolas' endgame, you know in the back of your mind that there's a chance this is going to happen, and it's driving you crazy already.
I said, well, there's no way. I can't believe that. There's no way.
Who are you trying to convince, buddy? Who are you trying to convince?
Me. Myself.
Okay. All right. And the last part of the story, I'll let you take this one away since.
Okay. Yeah. So for the longest time, I've been telling people on the podcast, people on Twitter,
I told people Justin on the streets.
Yes, I told Justin this I told this on the podcast and I texted him. It's like, yo, Justin, I think that the Immortal Sun is from Ravnica. And Justin's like, maybe. And I was like, dude, look at this art from Seal of the Guild Pack or something. It had all the guilds in a circle. In the middle, it had a sun. I was like, yo, I think the middle is the Immortal Sun. And Justin's like, I think you're stretching it. I'm like, no, okay, I'm going to tweet about it. So I tweeted about it. And I was like, Justin, I think the symbol in Ixalan's binding is the Azorius symbol.
Yep, this is true.
And what'd you think about that?
I was like, I don't know, man. I was like, I just don't. I was like, it kind of looks like it, but I don't think they're connected.
Right. So I tweeted about this. This was a long time. This is a while ago. This is a while ago. I tweeted all this, and I found the image of I think it's called Seal of the Guild Pack or something. It has all the guilds around it, and in the middle has the Immortal Sun. I'm like, guys, I think this has something to do with Ravnica. I think the Immortal Sun is possibly from Ravnica. Something's going on, and turns out I was a genius, and I was right.
Certified genius.
Certified genius, self-proclaimed. Azor is on Ixalan. He's the lawbringer. He has brought laws across multiple realms. And
symbols, apparently.
Yes, and symbols. And he's the one that's brought the Immortal Sun to Ixalan and has given up his spark to leave the Immortal Sun in Ixalan.
So naturally, this makes me have several more questions than I even had before.
Mother of God.
Okay, so here's what we know from this story, because there's a lot right in the middle there. We believe, and I'm pretty sure, I would say this is confirmed as far as I'm concerned. Bolas does not know that Ugin's alive.
Correct. I agree with that too.
Do you think that Ugin knows Azor? Because why would he send Jace to Ixalan?
He has to.
I think he has to.
Because he knows... Okay. He has to know about the Immortal Sun, right? And the Immortal Sun is imbued by Azor's spark.
Without a doubt.
So the Planeswalkers can't leave.
Yes.
If he knows about the Immortal Sun, then he knows Planeswalkers can't leave that plane.
Yep.
And that's why he made Jace go there.
Yeah, to protect Jace's mind from Bolas.
Yes, and Bolas can't go there, because if he does, he can't Planeswalk out.
So this... Exactly. So if he chases him there...
He can't chase him. He basically can't chase him. So, yes, Ugin absolutely knows Azor.
I totally agree.
100%.
So... before I go on with the theory, this kind of reinforces actually both of our thoughts that Ugin is not a good guy necessarily. That I think that Ugin is a true neutral character. Because while he's helped the good guys some, he clearly he put this trigger on Jace's mind to protect himself, not protect Jace.
Yeah, he's very colorless. He's not aligned with
anything,
but like mana, but like just like the world itself, I guess.
Yeah,
or preserving like honestly preserving life,
the natural
but
way.
Yes,
because he was really upset about the Eldrazi.
Oh yeah, he was very upset about the Eldrazi.
And again, he put this on Jace's mind to protect himself, Ugin, not to protect Jace. Because he has had interactions with Jace, so he knows if anyone tries to access that moment, he wants to not be known. Specifically Bolas, because he knows that ultimately that Jace's and Bolas' paths were going to cross. This also makes me think that, while we're jerking around with the Gatewatch and Ixalan and all this other stuff, is this are all of these characters just pawns in this gigantic Ugin v Bolas chess match?
Maybe, but I still don't know what the Eldrazi have to do with anything. I still don't know that. I don't think anyone really knows.
No, Ugin,
because Bolas.
I think even if Ugin knows, but there's some Bolas. We can agree that Bolas and Ugin know the most.
Yes.
And they also hate each other, even though Ugin wants to keep his whereabouts or the fact that he's even alive away from Bolas.
Well, he's probably afraid of Bolas.
Yeah. Well, he killed him once.
He killed him.
So, yeah, I just think that this is a huge chess match that's... And all of the other Planeswalkers are just hit players.
We know Bolas' ultimate goal that's public is he keeps saying that he wants his power back as strong as it was before the mending. Yeah. He's gotten stronger since then, but he still says it's nothing compared to what he was pre-mending. This is after absorbing the Maelstrom Nexus. This is
he's done it all. He's tried everything he can.
Yeah, so he's stronger, but he's I think absorbing the Maelstrom was just part of the plan. So yeah, he's
definitely.
So he's just we know that, but I have to think there's something else because I think Ugin knows something. Bolas doesn't just want his power back. There's a reason Bolas wants his power back. What is that reason?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think Ugin has answers. He's just I don't think it helps him to share his thoughts with the Gatewatch or anyone else.
Oh no, because the more he shares, the more Bolas knows.
Exactly.
Yeah. And as an aside, the art I was talking about where I predicted the Immortal Sun was part of Ravnica is indeed called Seal of the Guild Pact. If you guys Google that, you'll see all the guilds. And in the middle, it has the Immortal Sun.
Yep. Confirmed now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Ollie, I think as the story goes on, we're going to have some more of our questions answered about this.
Oh man, this is I am excited. I want to know what's going on. And this is short too. I believe we have 4 more stories.
We only have three more actually.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah, that's crazy.
So it's gonna be hitting hard and fast over the next 3 stories.
All right. Well, I'm ready for more story time.
Okay, awesome. All right. Anything else before we jump out?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I just want to say that. I just want to say it one more time. I told you so.
Ollie's time that he told you so. Every time. All right. As we did last week, we are throwing up our little spoiler warning right now. for our second part of discussing the Netflix anthology series Black Mirror. We'll be back in just a moment.
You can blame me, try to shame me, and still I'll care for you.
So I gotta say, there's 6 episodes in this series, or this season of Black Mirror, season 4. And my favorite one keeps jumping around, and I don't know which one it is, but I do know it's one of these 3.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay. Which one of the 3 are you debating on? Is your favorite?
I've gone between all of them. So the 3 in this second half of the season are Hang the DJ, which is episode 4, Metalhead, which is episode 5, and Black Museum, which is episode 6. And I like all of these episodes, and I don't know which one is my favorite. It'll probably keep changing the more that I think, and probably after we talk about it, because this will be we have an in-depth discussion. So
yeah, I thought last time it was the USS Callister. Do you like that?
It's
one?
gone. Yeah, it's gone. It's switched around a lot. I only know, like, the only one that I haven't thought for a moment that's been my favorite was Crocodile, which was the episode with the
gerbil.
Yeah, that one.
Yep.
So I guess we'll start with episode 4. We picked up where we left off last week.
Hang the DJ.
That's right. So Hang the DJ. They're in this timeline, or this episode. There are young men and women that are going around basically trying to be matched up with their ultimate partner. And they have this little, basically like this little, I don't know, Tamagotchi looking thing.
This little standalone Tinder app.
The standalone Tinder app, the Coach.
Yep.
And it tells them, it tells them who basically you carry it with you all the whole time, and it like listens to you talk and think and poop and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
And
it's a coach.
Yeah, and based on that, it assigns you people to be in relationships with. Now, these relationships can last as short as 12 hours or last as long as like 5 years or longer. And ultimately, the goal of this is through all of these relationships of predetermined amount of time, it gathers information about you and how you interact with your mates, and ultimately comes up with a match, a 99.8% match. So our characters go through this process, and they're matched together for the first time. First times for both of them. As soon as they sit down at the table, which is predetermined for them, they get a meal, which is also predetermined for them. And then you're supposed to click on your little Coach application, your little handheld Tinder app, and it tells you how long you're going to be in a relationship for. So they click on it, and it says 12 hours, which is about as short as you can get. So
yes,
they get served their food that they didn't order that was predetermined for them. They talk about poop immediately, which I thought was a nice touch. And then they have their the rest of their night. They end up not, sleeping together. They just kind of hold hands through the night and enjoy each other's company.
They did question it, though.
They did talk about it. They did talk about it. But ultimately realized that they liked each other. And then pretty quickly, like later in the day or the next day, they each get matched with another person.
Yep.
The guy is in a year-long relationship, and the girl's in a 9-month relationship. The guy is miserable. The girl is not. She's pretty happy outside of a couple of annoying tics that her new boyfriend has.
Her new boyfriend has like this nice body. He seems very cool or whatever. She likes him in the beginning.
Yeah, he's experienced in being in a relationship, so it's not so bad. But she realizes she doesn't, she is physically attracted to him, but not anything more than that. Yes. So as both of their relationships end, they both start going through more and more relationship at varying different paces. And then finally, again, they get matched back up. They're really excited to see each other because they realize they're the person they really wanted to be with. And they decide together to not hit the button to see how long their relationship is. So they go about their business. They kind of start having a life together over days, weeks. And then the guy character, let me look up these characters' names so I can actually address them.
While you're doing that, I want to speak also.
Yeah, go ahead.
The girl was, she jumped from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship, while the man or the male just had one long relationship where he was miserable. So that was intriguing for me.
Yeah. So it's Frank and Amy are our characters. So, but Frank, as he's enjoying his time with Amy, he keeps itching at him to.
I want to know. This is the one. Yeah.
Keeps itching at him, and he's like, I just want to hit that button to see how long we're going to be in this relationship. But they agreed not to. So of course, like any stupid person in a relationship, which is virtually everyone, except for Amy apparently, he hits the button because he wants to know. So immediately it comes up.
He took the apple. He took the apple.
He did. He bit the apple.
The snake.
And that's exactly what it was. So it pops up. It's like 5 years. She's like, okay, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good run. And then it's like recalculating. 3 years.
Recalibrating.
Recalibrating. 18
1
months. Recalibrating. 1 year. Recalibrating. 9 months. Recalibrating. 4 months. Recalibrating. And he keeps going down, and it's like recalibrating 9 weeks.
1 day, basically.
And then it's like, and then it gets down to 20 hours and it stops.
It's insane.
So he's losing his mind.
Yes,
losing it.
He ruined it.
Because he realizes, ultimately he knows that this relationship's about to end, most likely because his actions.
Yeah. So
she immediately, upon waking up, realizes he's acting weird. Knows within seconds. And he's just like, oh, yeah, nothing. I definitely didn't hit the button. So don't even ask about that. And they go to a mall, and she's like, okay, what's going on? And he's like, all right, so I got to tell you something. I hit the button.
I hit the button. At least he was honest. He's like, I hit the button. At first, it said 5 years. Now it's like, we have like 10 minutes left. And she's like, I can't believe you hit the button. Like, we promised not to hit the button. Why'd you hit the button?
And then he's like, his answer is, because I like you. Proper. Really. And that's not good enough for her. In his little British accent. Yeah. And she's like, you broke it.
Yes.
You broke this relationship, and you've broken my trust. So they serve out the rest of their hours completely separated and essentially just waiting, and she books it out of there because her trust has been broken by the person she thought she loved. So there's a lot to talk about, and we haven't even gotten to the end yet. But ultimately, they get another chance because Amy's little application comes up and says, we found the perfect match. Blah, 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 blah.
Get married tomorrow. Yes.
Yes. And you're just like, you get to see one person one last time. She's like, Frank, immediately says it. Yes. So then he gets a little application, a little notification, and it's like, where do I meet him? Oh, same place as usual, which is a little weird. And they go to the same table where they met, and then they start talking. They're like,
I think Frank's getting married tomorrow too, though, which is kind of weird.
No, he's not. He was not. Okay. He was just hanging around. And she's like, let's just try to leave. And they're like freaking out. Like, oh, I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave. We're like going to get executed or electrocuted or whatever. And she's like, screw it. Let's just do it. She talks him into it. And he's like, you're right. I just want to be with you. Let's try to go over the wall. So they start to leave. The guards that have been hanging around the place the whole time start to come up with their little tasers, and then everything freezes.
Yes.
And they realize that everything has stopped except for them. And as they run to this wall, and they start climbing up the steps, eventually the world kind of starts to vanish. And they end up in a room-ish with hundreds of other copies of themselves. They're very confused. And they look above, and it says 1,000 simulations completed. 998 rebellions.
That's ridiculous. Yeah.
So Then it goes back to the real world where you see Frank and Amy, which look a little bit different. They're in a bar, and they have a little application on their phone that's like the coach application, and it brings up the other one's picture, and it says 99.8% match. And then it kind of goes on from there. So
Yep.
we talked last week about simulations of people. And you felt really strongly about how the USS Callister episode, and even previous episodes of Black Mirror, notably like White Christmas, deals with simulations of people's consciousness.
Yes.
And I don't think that, even though ultimately the characters had a happy ending, and I'm putting quotes around that, is this different than either of those other previous times?
Yeah, here's the thing. I saw a bunch of people comparing this to the really happy one from last season, which was
San Junipero.
Yeah, people love that one. I love it too. That was
It's a great episode. Yeah.
I thought that one was actually a really happy one. This one, it's like, okay, I kind of had a happy ending until you actually start thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like, how are these simulations different than the ones from USS Callister? Like, they're definitely going to die. After they give a number, after they get a 99.8% match, they're dead.
The simulations are, yeah.
The simulations are dead. Also, the simulations in USS Callister were also just simulations.
Exactly.
So how's that any different? This is very. It was a good one. It was a good one.
It is.
I think
it's a great episode, but you're right. Like, but I mean, not only that, but like, as opposed to San Junipero, where it's supposed to be something that's really positive, coming out of something that's really negative, this is kind of the opposite.
Yes, I agree. And
you have these characters that ultimately we find out are simulations, but they're. I mean, if you think that like USS Callister, if Robert Daly who's the designer that made the system, if he deserved to die for mistreating a simulation, this whole system, this coach system, is mistreating thousands and thousands and millions upon millions of simulations across everyone. Because like,
yes,
if these things matter, if this episode is a look at one simulation, and these people were essentially put through years of terrible relationships and having to conceptualize a system that wanted them apart. What happened? What if we looked at one of those simulations where they didn't rebel? One of those two simulations, like how much would that be different? And they're miserable for the rest of their life because they end up with someone they don't want to be with, and that's just how they live the rest of their life out. When does it end? But you don't see that, but you know that it happens.
Yeah. It takes a minute. Once you start thinking about it, it's kind of messed up.
It is. It is.
One
real
other thing
up.
I want. Yeah. One more thing I want to address. So it was Amy and Frank, right?
Yeah.
So Amy like jumped around from relationship to relationship like a lot. In the beginning, she was kind of happy with the one person, but afterwards it became like she was just sleeping with people and not really like getting to know them.
Making no connection at all.
No, yes, and where Frank was with one person that was miserable and like just awful in general. I wonder why that was. I wonder why they painted that picture. Like, why did Amy bounce from relationship to relationship, where Frank had to suffer through one entire like long relationship?
I don't know.
3 relationship
I don't know.
was.
But keep in mind too, both of the relationships. Well, actually, almost all the relationships they were in were two different genders. Amy actually did have a relationship where she was with another woman.
Yeah.
But so it's not like there's just the women are doing one and just the men are doing the other, because Frank was in a relationship with a woman for a year and she was miserable too. She was miserable before she even knew who she was going to be dating.
Yeah. Well, honestly, what will probably happen is like maybe in that simulation, that's what happened. And another one, Frank's probably the one that
that's
had more relationships, and Amy had one long one. So
Yeah, and that's also the thing, because we know this is a simulation. They're all slightly different. So
Yeah.
I don't think it actually. That's kind of the thing, is like it actually doesn't mean anything, because this is just one of 1,000. So
Yeah.
the 99.
So they have a 2%. Yeah.
Yeah, the 99
They have
other
2%
ones.
chance.
The 99 other ones are just gonna be different.
Yeah. They have a 0.02% chance of it not working out.
Yeah. I did think it was interesting that Amy figured out, like with the rock skipping,
Yeah.
that it was a simulation. And there's like so the thing that she didn't like about her first like 9-month partner, after he sipped the water, he had and it like drove her crazy.
Yeah.
When they were having some relations in bed, and he made that noise, it was because he was, I guess, doing like a drinking motion. So the simulation made that noise for him, which I thought was funny. I thought that was funny.
Oh man!
But on a more serious note, I actually do agree. I think this. I do think it's a really good episode. My girlfriend didn't like it. I'm not 100% sure why, but she just said she didn't like it. But I don't think it was as happy as everyone thinks that it is. It's like, you think it's happy because the real life people get the match, and it's like, oh, this is the whole purpose. But like, man,
no, yeah,
what? Which characters was this story about? Was it about the real life people, or was it about the simulation that was being run? Because it sure seemed like it was about the simulation for the first 50 minutes.
I agree. Less than that. But anyways, moving on.
Next up, Metalhead.
Metalhead was my favorite one. My favorite one out of the season.
I think this is a great episode, but I'll let you go on.
I can't pinpoint why, but I really, really liked it.
I might be able to pinpoint why, because I got some good reasons.
Go ahead.
So this is a really quick synopsis, because there's not a lot of exposition. In fact, there's almost none, which plays to the episode's strength. So basically, there's this group of people, and this is in a post-apocalyptic world. The episode's in black and white. There's 3 people, and they're going into a factory to try to retrieve something. We don't know what. When they go into this factory, this robotic dog, who apparently is like this murder dog, awakens and just starts to try to hunt them down and kill them. The murder dog gets 2 of them. So the last remaining character basically is on the run. We don't really know where, to what end, but essentially is just trying to escape the clutches of this dog. So this episode kind of outlines her plight in survival. And it ends with her killing the dog, but in the dog's dying moments, it sends up this last-ditch flare or little shrapnel piece that gets her in the face and all over her body. And it's not just little shrapnel, it's actually sensors for other animatronic dogs to come hunt her down.
Yeah.
So she realizes this at the end of the episode, when she realizes she can't really escape, can't get them all out of her body, that she ends up just slitting her throat at the very end, off camera.
Yeah. There's one. I mean, there's one literally in her neck. Like,
yeah,
she has to take a knife to her neck. Like, that's like, yeah.
So Ollie, why was this your favorite episode?
I can't really pinpoint why, but it was so brutal, man. These dogs, killed with such efficiency. Can't say that word.
Efficiency.
Yes. The way they hunted you or like chased you down, they were solar powered, so like they didn't need to be recharged by batteries or anything. It was crazy. Like, I think when I first saw the dog kill the first guy, it was just like it took like its paw and just like blasted his head off.
Yeah, like one of its arms was a gun at the end.
Yeah, it didn't even like hesitate or anything. Like nothing. It just did it. Like it's like boop, killed him.
Like really, it's crazy. It's very rare that you see death and killing in any sort of fiction done in such an emotionless way.
Oh yeah, it was super emotionless. It was so quick. It was so fast.
Yeah, because it's mechanical. It's just it's basically it's a machine and it has a job to complete, so it completes that job as efficiently as it can.
Yeah. So then it eventually gets there's two of them left. It gets the other person, and again it kills him almost the same way.
Yep.
In
the head, in like 1 second.
Yes, it's over. Yeah. And you learn how like it takes her a whole episode to run away from this thing, hide in a tree, and try to power it down, then run away more, then finally like outsmart it and like throw paint on it so it can't see. Even then, it still fights her, but she's finally able to like kill one. It takes a whole entire episode to kill one. Then at the end,
everything that's in her being, like she was exhausted after the end of that.
Yeah, she was done. Yes. And then at the end, like Justin said, you see all the like throw shrapnel. It dies, but she has basically like a sensor that tracks more dogs, and you see all these dogs, lots of dogs running towards her.
So unlike a lot of Black Mirror episodes, this is in my opinion, this is actually the most different Black Mirror episodes in the entire series, like of any season. Yeah, like it's wildly different. Not only is it's shot in black and white. This is the first episode that has background music that's not auditory to the characters. Black Mirror uses music, but the characters can always hear the music. Yeah. So it's just music you're hearing and they're hearing. This episode is shot like a movie. From a cinematography standpoint, how the character moves, or not how the camera moves, how everything is shot. It uses music for clues to how you're supposed to feel about things, because again, there's very little talking.
The background music reminds me a lot of Psycho.
Sure. Yeah, it's very, very clued in by the music to tell you how you're supposed to feel about something, which is very effective. And that also makes the time where there's no music, where there's silence because there's no talking, and outside of some small noises made by the two main characters, which is the dog and the lady, really effective. So yeah. I really like this episode. This is, in my opinion, from cinematography standpoint, this is the best episode of Black Mirror, probably hands down in that realm. If you're ignoring the kind of the story and just how everything is shot and designed. So if you're into that at all and you have not seen this episode, I would recommend just watching this one. It's pretty awesome. Like I said, this is literally just a movie. It's just a short film.
And if you ever thought the Boston Dynamics robotic dogs were cute, think again. This will
change your mind, because they look pretty much like those.
They're based off those.
Yeah, which is, it looks like they are exactly.
Yeah, it's insane.
But this story is entirely about the journey and not the ending, even though it does have a notable ending. But a lot of Black Mirror episodes are kind of about how it ends, how whatever story ends, like ultimately what happens at the end. This one, not so much. You're really like, you are rooting for this woman, but not because you want her to win, just because you want her to survive, because there's very little humanity outside of her, because the dogs are so inhuman. Not only from their design as dogs, but the fact, like Ollie was saying, that they're just like ruthless and brutal and mechanical.
Oh, they've killed animals. They've killed other animals. There's no animals.
There's no life. Yes. There's like no life in this world. So you're rooting for this woman for the sake of living, which is interesting. Yeah. It's a great episode. Yeah. I really enjoyed it. I think this is a fantastic episode.
Should we say what they find? What they're trying to get at the end, or no?
Yes.
At the end.
Yes.
At the end, Justin said they went to the warehouse, tried to get something. At the end, you finally find out what they're trying to get, and they're trying to get a teddy bear.
A white teddy bear, which is exactly, almost identical to the white teddy bear from the episode White Bear and season 2 of this show. So
pretty crazy.
But this episode doesn't do the best at linking everything together because that's the next episode, which is called Black Museum.
All right.
Black Museum is very similar to the White Christmas episode, which is ultimately my favorite episode in this entire show.
So an anthology just ties in.
An anthology
ties in
and an
everything.
anthology, yes.
Yep.
And this one outlines 3 different ways. Basically, a character, Nish, is driving. It doesn't seem like it's in the future, and then she stops at a gas station, an old gas station, and gets out her solar panel and plugs it into the back of her car to recharge her car. And then she finds this museum that says Black Museum. And as she goes in, the owner and operator is kind of walking her through everything and tells her 3 different stories about basically like technology that ended up either killing someone or driving someone to death. Basically like criminal technology.
Yes.
And the last of these stories, as you find out, is and the character whose name is Rollo is in all of these stories because he used to work for a hospital that tried to kind of implement this new all of these new technologies that all ended up going terrible for a variety of reasons, as most episodes of Black Mirror seem to do based on technology, which is the point of the show. In the last one, you find out that Rollo basically allowed a potentially innocent man to have his physical being die on the electric chair in the promise that his consciousness, and again we come back to consciousness and simulation, to live on in the future. Now what he doesn't know is it's going to live on in Rollo's museum as a subject that museum goers can torture.
Yes.
As it turns out, in the very end, Nish happens to be none other than this guy's daughter and brutally kills Rollo, puts his consciousness into a room, and electrocutes him for all eternity.
Yes.
Now, that was the 3rd of the little anthology. The first one outlines a guy that gets a sensor put in his neck where he can feel sensations of other people if they put a little hat on. It first drives him to being able to be really a doctor, and then when one of his patients dies, while he got the little hat on, he becomes addicted to pain, and
It's pretty gross. Yeah.
yeah, and it gets really brutal and graphic, and he wants to put the hat on people and experience whatever pain they're doing, and when he gets pushed out of being a practicing doctor because he lets a patient die while he's experiencing their pain, because he's basically getting high off of it. Then he goes and wants to put it on other people and ends up killing a guy just to experience it because he gets high off the pain.
Yes.
Then the second one outlines a really sad story where a woman has a son and a husband. They have a nice little life. Then she gets hit by a car, put in a coma. Then, of course, our friend Rollo comes up to the husband and is like, hey, you want to put her consciousness
In the back of your head, basically.
in the back of your head. So, of course, this goes terribly outside of the first, 2 weeks because you have another voice in your head that's just talking to you all the time that doesn't need to eat, sleep, drink, anything. So then he's like, this is driving me crazy. I'm going to shut her off. And then he's like, well, why don't we put her in this bear, this teddy bear? So you
Yeah, oh my god.
transfer her consciousness into this teddy bear. And basically her consciousness is stuck in a teddy bear where all she can do is say 2 phrases, basically saying that the teddy bear loves you or the teddy bear needs a hug.
Yeah.
It's
that's
her
awful.
way to communicate yes or no for all of eternity, which is, that in my opinion, is one of the most brutal mini episodes on this show.
I mean, at that point, I just kill me.
Yeah, but how?
Burn the bear? I don't know.
Who's going to do it? How are you going to communicate that to him?
At that point, I don't know. At that point, you're done.
So I like these episodes because I like how they tie these little stories together into one grander story. the person who's the antagonist. One, you don't realize who the antagonist is till the very end exactly, and they generally get what's coming to them. And they're kind of fun. This was an episode that really calls back to a lot of other previous episodes of Black Mirror, which I really liked. Maybe a little too much, like really directly, like it actually references things directly, which no other episodes have really done except for this one.
Yeah.
Like it outlines, it even shows a lot of the other places that, like places and things that have like people have been murdered or central focuses of other episodes. So I thought that was nice, but it seemed like this would be like a series finale to me. Like this would be the last episode of the entire show, which I would actually be okay with because I think that's a good run. And it did seem like a fitting end.
I think this is our generation's Twilight Zone.
Yeah, probably so. I mean, it is modeled slightly after that, so.
Yeah, this whole season does like I liked all the episodes, but none of them were as like Black Mirror twisty as the other ones were, as previous seasons were. And I'm not sure if that's because I'm expecting it now, and I've seen like how they had twists and turns in the past, and these weren't enough for me. Like some of these episodes did have twists and turns, but maybe now it's because like I'm expecting them, and they're not like powerful enough for me.
What episode have you watched previously that you felt like that was the case, where that was like, man, that one really got me good?
I mean, the biggest one is still the season 1. The entire history of you is by far my favorite episode in this entire season ever.
Why? Why is that? I mean, what's the twist on that one?
Because the twist is like, you think the guy's crazy. You think he's just being ridiculous. Like there's nothing going on. Like he's.
I disagree. That episode for me, I believed him from the very first moment.
I believe him too, but then as time goes on, you're like,
no, I never wavered from believing him.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I did, and man, I got gut punched, and then like. Oh my god, it was just super disturbing.
Now, I do hate watching that episode, and I've seen it twice now, and I hate it. Not because it's bad, but because I don't enjoy it, and the emotional effect it has on me. Without getting too much into detail, something that hits close to home for me.
Yeah, same for me. We both can relate to it in some ways. But so yes, it's a gut wrencher for sure.
But see, I guess so for you, you're not a rewatcher of things. So the twist means more to you because you need that like visceral pull that the episode has on you. For me, like I want to go back and watch like Hang the DJ now that I know that they were in a simulation and pay attention to details that I may have missed because I was focused on the story.
I mean, I can go back and watch these. Like I haven't, but I also wouldn't hate it. Like I'll go back and watch Metalhead. I'd go back and watch the entire history of you. I'd go back and watch. San Junipero. Yeah, that one. Yes. I'll go back and watch those. But I probably won't do it alone. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. My thing of not watching something twice is just strange, so I don't know.
Yeah, and I do think that all of these, for those of you that are listening to this section without watching it, one, you can't go back now that you know this stuff. But if you want to rewatch it, I mean, I do think it's better to watch with a person, not just so you could talk about it. I mean, this like
absolutely, that's the best part.
We're trying to condense this down into like a 30-minute segment, and one, it's gone over that 2 weeks in a row, and two, like we could have an hour discussion on each of these singular episodes.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's really why.
And all these are standalone.
Yeah.
They're all stand alone. Like if you just want to go watch one,
yeah, you can totally do that.
Yes, totally. And if you want to go watch one, just one. Mine is I'm trying to go watch season 1, the entire history of you. That's my recommendation.
I don't know if I can recommend just one because there's so many that are good. There's so many that are good, and I think there are very few that are bad.
I agree. This season's great. Or this series is great.
I think this season. I actually think this season was Good. I've heard a bunch of people say like, "Oh, I'm disappointed." I think because
I think it's good too.
I think honestly because this show is so good, people have gotten so expected this is going to be the best thing in the entire world, and it's actually overhyped. But it's not really any different than it has been before. And
it is a little bit. I mean, like,
I don't think it is.
I think it is, but I agree with you. Like, the show's just so good that like you're expecting it to like get 100 every time, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then when it gets like a 90, you're like, oh, that episode was much worse. Well, I guess it is because it wasn't the best thing you've ever seen, but I don't know.
Yeah. It's a good series.
Yeah. I think the main takeaway from this season is your direct actions have consequences. And I think you see that in every single episode, except for maybe Metalhead. There's not really an action consequences. That's like because that's really a survival thing.
Yeah. There's also a million questions in Metalhead, but anyways, like where are they going? Who made the robots? Who's controlling them?
So many questions, and we'll probably never get those answered.
Never know. Metalhead 2.
Yeah. All right. Ollie, anything else on Black Mirror before we kind of send this show off to not talk about until season 5, the inevitable season 5?
Nope, that's all I got.
Okay, all right. In that case, that's the show for today. So we are going to take a quick break, and when we return, we will wrap up and tell you what is coming ahead. Ollie, what do you have coming up for me?
This weekend, I got nothing.
Nothing? Nothing at all.
I'm not going to I don't think I'm going to do any release events. Maybe I'll do a 1K, but I think I'm going to just relax, man. Maybe just relax.
Maybe you could try to catch some new standard, since you have this diverse format according to you.
Maybe we'll see. I'm excited for this. It's not next week though, but is it next week? Is our team thing next week?
Yes, it is. After basically a week from now-ish.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to that then.
Okay, good.
For next week.
So you're gearing yourself up.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I don't really have anything. This is also going to be kind of a relaxing weekend for me. Probably catch some of the Team Open in Dallas this weekend, the SCG Open. But I do, before we kind of get to our normal stuff, some of you, a lot of our Patreon subscribers are probably wondering, well, what has happened to the Commander Patreon decks you promised? Well, I'm going to be changing the format up a little. The previous format where I had you guys vote on what you wanted to see worked okay because it gave you guys some options, and ultimately you saw the deck get posted that the majority of you wanted to see. But unfortunately, that has kind of created a strain based on how long the poll has to be up to allow everyone to vote. Kind of created a strain on my schedule to be able to do those decks in a timely manner. So I'm actually going to be removing the voting, but make sure that you all get new commanders as they come out. So for the first, we'll say around 6 weeks when a new set comes out, you're going to get new commander decks based on legendary creatures from that set for 1 to 2 months in a row. And then I'll kind of go and just handpick some that I feel like you guys would like. And then when the next set comes out, we'll repeat that process. So by the time this comes up, you'll see Brian Stoutarm, and then starting. So basically, you're going to get 2 this week, and then 1 every week for the next X weeks that are going to be Rivals of Ixalan legendary creatures. So that's how that's going to work going forward, in case you guys have any questions.
I'm also going to have a brew up for you very soon. It's either going to come up this weekend or the weekend Justin and I are playing the team event.
Ooh, for me? Special for me?
Not for you. Not for you.
Not for me? Oh.
For the Patreons.
Okay. Fine.
But you can look at it too if you want.
Okay. I can look at it? You'll allow it?
Yeah, you can look at it.
Oh, you're so sweet. Ollie, where can people find you?
You can find me at Twitters on the birds, twitter.com/AliEldrazi, twitch.tv/AliEldrazi, Gathering Magic, gatheringmagic.com, where I've done my set review every day for Rise of Ixalan.
So many sets, so many reviews.
Yes, you should definitely check out Fridays, because Friday is green and everything else. But I also have my top 10 list of cards from this set and their impact on Standard. So if you just want to see like the best cards in this set for Standard playability, just click on the green and everything else article, scroll all the way to the bottom, and there's a top 10 list for best cards in Standard from this set.
I always just assume in black cards the best in every set.
I mean, you never know. You never know. Actually, you're right. You're right. In this set, it is a black card.
Yes.
But I don't want to spoil it. I'm sure they know too. But who knows? Go check it out.
That's
check
fine.
it out.
It's always a black card. Just make it a black card every time.
I aim for honesty.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah. Okay.
You can find me on Twitter as well. Twitter.com/jparnell1. You can also find me on StarCityGames.com and YouTube 11 a.m. every Wednesday. I'm the host of Commander vs. Series. We just started our season 10. 10 fingers. It's so many fingers for a season. Next week, we're going to be doing Rivals of Ixalan Legendary Creatures. I'm playing Zakama, Primal Calamity.
Sweet. That's
and
hype.
I'm really excited about this episode. Like, super, super duper excited. I'm playing a big old rampy deck, so you definitely want to check it out.
Zakama your mama.
I'm not going to say that.
Okay.
But I will make sure everyone knows when I play or talk about Zakama.
She's home. She's home.
Make no doubt. If you want to contact the show, you can contact us twitter.com/thinktwicemtg, or if you would like to send us an email, thinktwicemtg@gmail.com. You can also find the show on SoundCloud. You can find the show on iTunes. You can find the show on YouTube. We love you to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you're on iTunes, you can leave us a review. We would love that. If you're on YouTube, you can leave us a comment. We would love that too. But really, the best thing you can do right now is to share the show. If you have some friends or people that you know, even if they're not your friends, but you're like, hey, I don't like you, but I do know that you like entertaining things, you should tell them about the show. Maybe it'll make you two be closer together or not dislike each other as much.
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah. And of course, if you want to support the show in a way other than sharing, you can do so at patreon.com/thinktwicemtg. We have a lot of rewards tiers starting at $1 all the way up to $30. So if you'd like to support the show with your dollar bills, you can absolutely do that. That would be a great help. We're trying to get to our $200 goal that will allow us to have on Twitch a live, essentially new show that we're calling Deep Analysis, where we'll deep dive into a topic and allow you guys to interact with us and ask us questions. Now, speaking on that, we have reached two plateaus, which is the vodcast plateau as well as the token plateau. We are working on both of those things. Those were hit a lot sooner than we thought. So honestly, we were caught a little off guard and we couldn't do them immediately, but needless to say, they are definitely they're definitely coming.
They're in the works.
Yeah, they're coming. They're coming soon. We didn't want to give you guys a poop product, so we're going to polish it up a little bit.
Yes, absolutely.
We do have one new Disciple of Bolus or up tier Patreon supporter this week, and that's Eric with a K.
Eric with a K.
Eric with a K.
Thank you for the support.
Thank you for the support.
Thank you very
Eric
much. We love you.
You know who else we love? We love our graphic designer, Amber West. We love our director and producer, John Shea. And we love our Agent of Bolus producers, Gordon Russell, Daniel Hunt, and Josh Lyons. We could not do the show without any of those people, nor could we do it without you as my co-host, Ollie.
I love you too, Justin. I love you too.
All right. And we love you guys too. Stay tuned next week as we talk about more Magic Story, more fallout from these bannings, and the brand new, completely diverse, no repeat decks standard format that Ollie Aintrazi has promised on this show that you heard earlier.
Exactly. But before we go, do you know when, on my scale of 1 to 10, when I'll feel like a 10? It's going to be next weekend, on Saturday, when I wake up. Next week when I wake up, we're playing a team event, and I'm going to feel like a Pokemon Master / Planeswalker that can shoot rainbows out of my eyes. So Parnell, get ready to poop some rainbows.
I'm gonna poop some rainbows.
Yes, you are on Saturday.
All right, I'm looking forward to it. I think that's it for this week, guys. We love you very much. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, bye, guys.